Wow. Hey friends, Greg Hudson here, host of America's Best Restaurants, and today we're talking steakhouses. And I know many of you have been to a lot of steakhouses, but have you been to one where up to 15 different cuts of meat are brought to you tableside and carved right there on your plate? You probably haven't. Well, I want you to get ready for an authentic Brazilian experience today at Adega Gaucha. Get out of here. Get out of here. Look at this place.
Welcome to Adega Gaucha, Greg.
Ricardo, thank you. This is an honor. When I walk, there's got the wood door, and I walk in, I had no idea what to expect. And I'm blown away. I'm speechless. This is incredible. This is an authentic Brazilian experience, right?
That's right. First, welcome to Adega Gaucha, Greg. It's so great to have you with us today. And we're going to be showing you the authentic Brazilian steakhouse and a lot of things we brought back from the roots. And we make in-house everything. We take care of every single detail to serve all guests the best experience that they can.
My goodness. And I know that a lot of you at home, people have heard of Brazilian steakhouses, but man, you're from Brazil. This is as authentic as it comes, though, right? You guys are doing things, you're bringing traditions from Brazil itself here to Orlando, Florida.
Absolutely. And the reason why we do that as well, paying attention to some details, you will be seeing our gourmet table, we like to call gourmet table. We have some influences, obviously, of some celebrity chefs, and we bring every single dish to the level than you would have any high-end steakhouse.
So in addition to the gaucho, the gauchos are what people associate when they think about the Brazilian steakhouse. They come out with cuts of meat, beautiful cuts of meat, but you're talking about a gourmet table?
Absolutely.
What's a gourmet table?
The difference is we have the chefs taking care of the main dish,
yes,
which is the meats, and then we take care of the wet aging process and the quality of the beef that we serve. And we have executive chef in the kitchen taking care of the gourmet table with the 60 different varieties. Salads, fruits, fresh seasonal dishes, special of the days, everything that you're looking for in a Brazilian culinary.
My goodness. So I really can't wait to get to the steak, but if anything that's called a gourmet table, I need to be a part of, I need to take a look at it.
Oh, we'll be glad to show you.
Man, if you don't mind, I would love to. Let's go check out the gourmet table. Okay, so this is the gourmet table?
Yes, and this is how everything starts. Your dining experience has to be every single item a wow, and we try to reproduce that in every single dish that we have on the gourmet table. And that's not that easy because we have there about 60 items, including the cold, vegetables, charcuterie, and hot dishes.
I was gonna say, we've got chafing dishes here behind us, you can probably see, and these are all, hearts of palm cream, collard greens, pork belly, just beautiful dishes. Let's take a look over here. So 60 items.
60 items, most of them it's Brazilian items, then the traditional in Brazil. And obviously because we are a Brazilian steakhouse, we try to have some dishes as well expired in celebrity chefs in the United States. So
Sure.
when we do that, we couldn't miss to have in the gourmet table, for instance, a Waldorf salad. My wife used to work in the Waldorf Astoria in New York, and I used to love to go there and have it. So once we opened our restaurant, we decided to have that in the menu as well.
A real authentic Waldorf salad.
We try as best as we can.
Man.
The Waldorf was always the greatest. We have some items in the gourmet table that is very typical in Brazil. It's like a hearts of palm. When you talk about hearts of palm, if you watch a chef table, Alex Atala, which is the only Brazilian Michelin star chef, use on his dishes a lot of hearts of palm.
And just the beautiful, I mean, even the detail, the way that they're cut, the way that they're laid out on the plate, the way that, it's just every little detail, nothing is missed.
Every bite is a discovery. So you enjoy as much as you want. So you should try and have that kind of feeling constantly. For the first bite, it's something unique.
And as we walk around and I'm taking a look here, Ricardo, you know, at steakhouses, a lot of times, even the higher end ones, there's a really nice salad bar, and that's great. That's wonderful. You, sir, you're right. Gourmet table is the perfect way to describe this.
You want to have the same experience that you would have, but not worry about the water separate items. So what we have in our gourmet table here is items that you would order in a regular ordinary steakhouse, so like a beef carpaccio or smoked salmon. Or we started with the charcuterie board with some prosciutto and colds and different types of cheeses. So this is everything that you can experience for a set price.
Man, and we have smoked salmon here?
Smoked salmon.
And like you mentioned, the beef carpaccio, I've never seen that just on a table like this. I don't want to use the word salad bar, but on a table like this, I've never seen such decadence laid out. And this is even before we haven't even looked at a steak yet.
Yeah.
Get out of here, man. Beautiful. Is this brie cheese?
We have here some brie, and the brie we do with some almonds and honey ornaments on top. So we have some candy bacon. We have some endives with the blue cheese, a toasted almond, Roquefort cheese. So every single dish, we're thinking about your first bite and how we would feel about it.
I get that. I totally get that. And once again, I can't move on without again reiterating, we haven't even looked at a piece of steak yet, and this is what you get before you even take a bite of steak.
We will do that shortly.
Hey, do you mind if I take our viewers behind the scenes a little bit? Because I know we got the gauchos coming out here, and they come out with the skewers with the steak. I would love to take our viewers behind the scenes and show them what happens in the kitchen before the gauchos come out with that steak.
We'll be glad to show you that. Just to remind our Gaucho chefs, they are chefs. So they prep, they cook, and they serve table side. So each table is served by chefs.
So the gauchos, the gentlemen, ladies walking
They are
around,
chefs.
this is incredible.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go back and see how it's done behind the scenes, but Ricardo, I am not leaving this restaurant until I sit down with you and have some steak.
Let's do it.
I'll see you in the kitchen and I'll see you back out here.
See you.
This is unbelievable. So we've seen all of the hard work in the kitchen that Chef and the Gauchos have done, and it leads to this. This is what people come to the restaurant for. This is what people want to see. First of all, we haven't even eaten meat, but look at this spread you put together for us. What's all over the table?
That's right. As I mentioned, every single bite makes a difference, and we want to have the experience and have the wow in every single bite. So the way that we start the meal, it's having something very traditional from Brazil, which is our cheese bread. The cheese bread, it's a bread gluten-free, then you can have it. We have some sides here. For us, side dishes is a great part of the meal as well. I'll have some traditional crispy polentas there. We have some Brussels sprouts with bacon. And we have a cream corn brulee, which is my favorite.
I was going to ask you what that is. I thought we were starting with dessert for a second. I thought we had the creme brulee, but a corn creme brulee.
Corn creme brulee, and that's a perfect combination of a sweetness, saltiness, and the perfect side for all beef ribs. Then we slow cook for 5 to 6 hours to get the.
We saw some of those in the back. I mean, Ricardo, those look incredible.
Another appetizer they have is all beef croquettes. We're very well known for that. So Brazil has a lot of immigrants. So we got immigrants from Europe, and they brought the croquettes. So south of Brazil, we have them. And we're gonna have some sauces there, each one of them, to pair with the food. So have some chimichurri to have the flat meat, what we call churrasco, vazio. We're gonna have some vinaigrette sauce, and you can have with the traditional cut, the picanha. And we're gonna have some mint sauce with the lamb chop.
Lamb chops.
Lamb chops?
So this is great. So you have a seat and you've got all of these fantastic sides. They're as excited as I am back there. You can hear them. So how does this work? Like, we're in place. We've seen what goes on in the back. I mean, just a beautiful spread of sides here. How does the process work for the gauchos to come out? How do people decide what cuts of meat they're gonna have? Like, get us started, Ricardo. I mean, let's go.
The most of the Brazilian steakhouse, when you go, we have this coast of red and green, and they start with the red. So we decided the people come here for the steak, so we're going to start with the green.
So red means I've had enough.
Stop.
But you and I,
we're
going
green right
Ricardo
now.
and I are going green,
We start
baby.
with the green.
This is what it's about.
That's
I'm
what we're
going
here
green.
for. You come for the full experience. We start with our gourmet table, having every single item. So we got some a few items here on the plate. So we have some endives with the orange mandarin, roquefort cheese, and the toasted almond, some hearts of palm, caprese salad, broccolini, asparagus with the side dishes.
Just
so
beautiful.
you go to the gourmet table, you help yourself to 60 items. We recommend you to go easy there, right? Because if you try the 60 times, so maybe the 5th time that you come here, you're probably gonna taste all of them.
Yeah,
so
but
go
take
easy.
your time with it.
And once you're ready for the main course, the meats, then we start to bring the meats around to the table. Our Gaucho chefs will bring that in accordance with your taste.
Wonderful.
So they ask you how you like the meat cooked. So the chefs, they prep, they cook, and they serve tableside.
Lovely. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm ready to go. I'm going to follow your lead here, and I want you to take us through it. I'm following your lead, so let's go.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we're back. We had to take a quick break because we had so much food on our plates. We had to like reset the table because Ricardo has more coming. We're not done yet.
Nope.
So we have more gaucho food coming, more of the
We
gauchos
have
coming out,
another
chefs
cuts.
coming
You know, we bring you one of my favorite cuts for you right now. We call in Brazil vazio. So the
Vazio?
vazio, yeah. So the vazio is the flap meat. It's a part of the, we wet age that as well. This one doesn't require as much age as a picanha or the ribeye. This is a 21 days wet age. In Argentina, they eat a lot, and somehow become very popular in the United States as well by French restaurants called bavette.
Okay.
So, but the Brazilians brought it to the United States, not the French
Yeah,
ones.
the French didn't bring it. It
There we
started
go.
in Brazil. Hey, let me ask you this while chef's carving this up for us. For a lot of people at home that don't know about this, you know, there's a difference between wet aging and dry aging. So for a wet age like this, what's the difference and what makes it unique?
All right. So when you wet age the meat, you preserve the flavor of the meat. So you work more on the structure of the tenderness of the steak, right?
Okay.
So when you dry age the steak gets more like earthier.
Right.
Like when you eat Roquefort cheese or blue cheese type-ish, you know? It's the process of the lighting and the room is dry. So when you cook that steak, they lose 1/3% of the weight because of the juice gets dry. So the meat gets more like a earthy, not preserve the natural flavor of the steak. We believe more in the wet age because we want you to eat and distinguish the flavor for every single cut. Sometimes we serve one cut dry age, you know, to please our guests, but that's a different ballgame.
Got you. And so what is a wet age process then? Instead of drying in the dry, cool air, what's the wet age process like?
So the wet age process, once the plant get the meat in the vacuum and sealed, right? So you let the meat rest
In its own juices?
in all juices. So you let that in refrigeration around 40 Fahrenheit, and you wait the process of the meat rest in order to get the tenderness that you're looking for.
Ah, but nothing else needs to be added in there when you vac seal it.
Nothing.
Just the meat. Again, great cuts of meat, of course, in its own juices, vac sealed.
Cannot have contact with oxygen.
Ah, and that's what helps the wet age process.
That's the wet age process. So it's a
Beautiful.
vacuum, no contact with oxygen, resting, waiting for the right time to be eaten.
And that's what we're having right now.
That's
It
what
sounds
I-
like right now is the right time for this to be done.
Yeah.
And you said we're gonna dress this with what?
Very typical in Argentina. Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, it's very similar. So chimichurri sauce. Chimichurri is parsley, garlic, vinegar.
Parsley, garlic, vinegar.
Yeah.
Again, very simple ingredients.
Very simple,
But
fresh.
Again, freshness is the key,
Uh-huh.
and ingredients that go well together.
Yeah.
Are
As a
those the-
sides, we're gonna have some Brussels sprouts. So the Brussels sprouts will have that sauté with bacon and a little bit of apple maple sauce.
Wait a minute. So Brussels, bacon, and you said apple,
Apple.
and maple.
That's right.
This is beautiful. This is just so decadent and elegant, man. And you know what else I love? When it comes to Brussels sprouts, I know everybody's different. I love when it's charred like that. I love a nice char on a Brussels sprout. I need to make sure I get some bacon in here. Okay,
The char definitely enhanced the flavor of the Brussels sprouts.
absolutely. So I'm gonna get a little bit of bacon here. I found one with some great char.
Not bad, eh?
I'm stealing that recipe from Ricardo. That maple is wonderful. It really, that sweetness from the maple cuts through the char and the Brussels. And then of course the bacon. I mean, come on. So now everything that we had earlier, oh my gosh, look at this. The wet age on this is so different. And I mean, this is just, I could have,
And that's why the steak doesn't get chewy, you know, because it's waiting for the right time to cook.
wow. First of all, it's incredibly tender. That is so juicy. I mean, that just explodes with juice and flavor. And this is a famous Brazilian cut, you said?
Famous Brazilian cut. Fraldinha ou vazio. That's how we call it in Brazil.
Bojinha?
Fraldinha.
Oh my goodness. So when it comes to steaks, I know that you said that certain steaks you dry age, certain steaks you wet age. Are there certain cuts of meat that you always want to dry age, or ones that you always want to wet age, or you see what I'm saying? Are there
Yeah, no, I
preferences
know.
when it comes to cuts?
When you go towards like a New York strip steak and a tomahawks, I like them dry aged.
Like them dry aged, okay?
You know, so if you're gonna eat a cowboy bone-in ribeye, probably you want that a dry aged. But other than that, the meats that has more juicy, like the bavette or the skirt steak, you're not gonna dry age those cuts.
So you
because you're gonna lose a lot of what the beauty of the steak, which is the juice.
Yes. Again, I love skirt steak when I'm at home. I love cooking it. I don't think I've ever wet aged it though. I think when I get home, that might be the play. I might try to wet age one when I get home. I've got a vac sealer, so maybe I'll give that a shot because this is so incredibly juicy. So we've been having some incredible cuts of meat. I mean, Chef has spoiled it. You spoiled us. What if folks come in and maybe they just kind of want their own steak? Is that something that's possible as well?
Absolutely. We think, especially when you're traveling, you know, we live in Orlando and you go to the parks, so maybe you don't want to have the full experience of 15 different cuts of meat and 60 hours of our gourmet table. We do have the a la carte option as well.
Wonderful. Because this is exquisite, but everybody's different. Maybe somebody's so dead set that they want their certain steak by themselves. So you offer that option.
Yes, we do. And and sometimes the type of the service, right? So you having a business, maybe you don't want to be interrupted by a Gaucho chef serving us. You just want to have a plate and sell a deal.
Such a good point.
So those things we definitely have to take into consideration as well. And that's how we put ourselves with the only Brazilian steakhouse in the West and serve a la carte plates.
Well, and that's what I was curious about, because I've been to certain Brazilian steakhouses before, and and these are great options to have. First of all, it doesn't taste like this, but I haven't seen an option in a Brazilian steakhouse where you're able to do that, where you're able to just sort of have the experience of just your own steak. So the fact that you guys are not only doing it, what you're doing with the gauchos at this level, but then allowing people to have that option.
That's right.
That's wonderful. I haven't tried the Camus,
Right.
so we're gonna try the Camus, and we'll be right back.
Cheers.
Ricardo, you said it. We are green, as you can see, and I think we got some gauchos on the way.
Oh, yes, sir.
There you go.
Some delicious lamb chops.
I'm much better now. Absolutely.
Baumer is our executive chef. He and I worked together for 20 years.
Goodness.
And he's bringing some lamb chops. Chef Eric made some mint sauce as well for us to pair with the lamb chops.
Beautiful.
Lamb chop as well.
Please, sir.
Look at, just
Thank you.
juicy, right off the skewer. Chef, thank you so
You
much.
are very welcome. Enjoy.
Thank you. Excellent. I'm gonna take your lead here. So we're going with some mint sauce with the lamb
Some mint
chop.
sauce with the lamb chop.
And again, these are all prepared right there on the
All from
rotisserie.
scratch. We do every day.
Oh,
The secret it's the fresh ingredients. And our lamb chop is a grass feed. Everything has to be top notch because our guests deserve it.
just beautiful. This is so, I feel regal and elegant right now.
That's it.
This is excellent. So what do you recommend? Just a nice little slice off the edge here? Oh man. And just, that's exactly what you're looking for in that cook too, Ricardo. Gorgeous. And it's gotta be difficult to get the temperature just right back there on the rotisserie. It's gotta be difficult, but just perfect execution. That is incredible. You've got to be kidding.
So we need to know if the lamb chop we're gonna pair well with Camus, right? So
I like where your head's at, Ricardo. There's only one way to find out, my friend.
there we
Salud.
go. Cheers.
Salud to you. This is an experience. This is not just a meal, and we've just had one bite of lamb, and this is already just such an experience. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Excellent. So I want to try, what did you say we've got?
That's a fried polenta. Polenta is a cornmeal, so it's very typical in Brazil, And it's nice because now it's so popular. Then if you get a flight in American Airlines, they serve polenta, and this is because the churrascaria is belong to the United States. So
This is excellent. But it's very light. But I'm a big texture guy. I love the texture on this, and just very delicate flavor too. Those are outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. And so on a daily basis, how many different cuts of meat?
So we have about 15 different cuts of meat, not including the special of the day. So today we're serving tri-tip with the butter and herbs. Sometimes we serve for the house, sometimes we serve tomahawk. It all depends on the day. Then we bring on top of our menu a special cut of the day.
How do you do a tomahawk? How's that possible?
Good. We bring table side. They're gonna serve it the same way that they're gonna serve with the ribs now.
Oh, get out of here! That is incredible.
What's how are you?
Oh, hello again, Chef. Hey, how are you, sir?
It's me again. How about some delicious beef rib?
Oh my gosh, I would love that. And so, Chef isn't doing this just for us. Like, this is how this gets served.
This is how we serve it.
Yes. For every guest that comes in when this is available, this is what gets served.
Absolutely.
That's incredible. Chef,
Can I check this out?
I'd like this piece.
Chef, when it comes to the beef rib, how long does the process take for this to cook and become so perfect like that?
The way you cook as right now is around 5
5 hours.
5 hours, yeah. Mostly it starts with the 5, it's between 5 to 6 hours to be ready to cook.
Cannot rush the process.
You really can.
And the beef ribs there, we're gonna get some cream corn brulee for you to try it.
Please, please.
Right.
Yeah, talk me through this. Help me out here. Oh, man. That is gorgeous. So, again, the attention to detail, because with as many people as must come through here, just a perfectly bruleed dish like that. I mean, how many of these you have to do a day?
Sometimes you do 1,000.
1,000
You
a
know,
day,
we
but
serve 1,000 people, you know. And
it's one thing if you're serving 1,000 people and, you know, it's maybe like a hot dish or something, but look at this. Look at the attention to detail.
yeah. When we do 1,000 people, obviously it's all day long. It's not
Sure.
like you have to serve 1,000 people at the same time.
No,
we
of
wouldn't
course,
be able
but-
to do it.
But still, that's so impressive.
But the details for us, it's what makes us different and show us the passion that we carry by our cuisine.
Okay, let's get into this. We going beef rib? Oh, so you're going to get a little bit of each with this,
Yeah.
Ricardo. I could pull this apart with a plastic spoon. It's that tender.
Yeah. 5 to 6 hours cooking.
Goodness. Is that 5 and 6 hours? Is that all over rotisserie in that oven rotisserie?
No, we
oven,
do
or
in the
you
oven.
and then pull it out and
Then we
finish
put
it in
it
the
out, finish it up
rotisserie.
in the rotisserie.
So, but we want to get a little of the brulee corn, cream corn there.
You can do separate if you want to, you know, distinguish the flavor between both of them.
Listen, whatever Ricardo is doing, that's what I'm gonna do. This is a man that knows his way around this place. Oh my goodness. That, Ricardo, that caramelized sugar on top of that cream corn, that burst of sweetness that you get, and that little gritty texture, it's perfect. And you know what? You were right. It pairs so well with that beef rib.
Mm-hmm.
Like these two are made to go together.
Not counting a glass of cab.
Oh, well,
There we go.
we need to
Cheers.
test. Yes. Just so you know, each different cut of meat, it can change the profile of the wine. Therefore, we have to take a sip for each piece of meat that we try.
Yeah.
It's only right. So my next question, how in the hell do you stay so skinny when you're running a place like this?
When you eat health every day, right? Your metabolism helps digest what you eat. So I have a restaurant and I eat here every day, and my best friends eat here every day. So I make sure that the food that we're gonna serve, it's fresh, well balanced, and I try to avoid carbs. I'm a big fan of rice, you know, but I don't eat the rice every day because that would. But if eating protein, eating steaks,
Protein and fresh
That's not a
vegetables.
problem.
This is
It's a way to
exquisite.
go.
This is absolutely exquisite. And again, I'm going to mention something that I may have touched on earlier. And I know we're just getting started here, but I'm a big food guy. You know that. I love good food. But what I love just as much as good food is a great experience in life in general. And when you combine great food like this with the experience that you're bringing us here today, I mean, this is special. This is absolutely special. And let's talk about the aging process with some of the meats that you have here.
Sure. Chef gonna bring some ribeye now for us. Each meat we need to have like a aging process in
that's
order
beautiful.
for the meat to be, you know, juicy and properly served. So the ribeye, it's a meat that has a lot of marble. So the ribeye, we serve the ribeye 35 to 45 days in order to have the juiceness and the breakdown.
Look at that.
So our house special, we serve 28 days. So what we do, it's we have a meat supplier. So they send us, and we keep the inventory of about 3 weeks in order to serve in the proper aging process. So it's a lot of work, but I think pays off for the quality of the steaks that we serve.
But you are aging this in-house.
We age in house. Yep.
This is unbelievable. I mean, look at what happens table side here.
Thank you, Chef.
Chef, thank you so much.
Let's try some vinaigrette sauce.
Yeah, I wanted
with
to
it,
ask you, because what I love is the way that you're really, first of all, you're a very detail-oriented guy. We've seen that from the beginning. But the way with each cut that comes out, you know exactly what to pair with what we're tasting. So what is this a salsa?
This is a very famous sauce in Brazil called vinaigrette sauce. Onion, tomatoes, peppers, vinegar, and olive oil.
Goodness.
So that enhances a lot of the flavor of the steaks. We don't marinate our steaks here. We just salted them for you to distinguish the flavor.
Right.
But if you want to have some sauce on top of to enhance a little bit of the flavor, you're always welcome to. We have a Polenta of the Gourmet Table. And as well, we make peppercorn sauce and blue cheese sauce for some steaks. So like the filet, you like the leanness and the less fat, but a steak, then usually you will enjoy that more if you have a sauce.
Right, because of the leanness. This, I mean, just the beautiful color inside of this salsa that you prepared is just gorgeous. I mean, you can tell that this is fresh. Look at the color on the tomato. Look at those herbs, how green those herbs are. Is that mango in there?
Peppers.
Oh, those are yellow peppers. Even
No.
better. So what I'm going to do, because I want to taste the integrity of the meat
Sure.
that the chef put together,
Absolutely.
I'm going to put a little bit of this on one side of the meat, and I'm going to try the steak on its own first. Whoa. That, are you telling me that all that is that's just salt
Just salt.
on that meat?
Exactly.
There's no way.
And the beauty is, if you think about it, if you go to a ordinary steakhouse, you order a ribeye.
Yeah,
And comes at 16 ounces, 20 ounces, or 22 ounces of the table, right?
sure.
So you receive a steak, and you cut the steak. The first bite is always amazing.
Right.
It's hot, fresh, comes straight from the kitchen. But the meat of the steak, probably that steak gonna be already cold.
Very true.
So that's when your experience of the steak will start to kind of go down. For us here, the way that we serve, we always bring fresh in the kitchen, and we serve small pieces for you, and you always have a hot food in your plate.
Very, very true. And you know what else I'm just thinking about? So I'm sure many of you out there, you've been to great steakhouses before. You've had exactly what Ricardo's talking about. You've had that steak, that beautiful ribeye that you're so excited about. And you paid good money for a great steak. What we're getting here though, where else are you going to get so many different cuts of meat? Fresh and delicious. And like you said, everybody's hot, everybody's fresh. I mean, we've already tried 3 different cuts of meat. You know what I'm saying? So we're not just getting one ribeye here.
We just have 12 more to go.
Hey, cheers to that with the ribeye. Now I'm going to try it with that Brazilian salsa. This is incredible. You know what's coming to my mind right now, Ricardo, is I was thinking about that aging process you mentioned. And you said it's what, about 30 days?
Depend of the cut,
Okay.
right?
So for example, the ribeye,
The ribeye 35 to 45.
35 aged here in house.
Yeah.
So the reason I bring that up is because let's say you're at home and you're planning a vacation. Do you realize 35 to 40 days before you even come down here, before you maybe even decide you're going to have dinner or lunch here, your steak is already being worked on. It's already being processed and aging, waiting for you to get down here 35 days before you even arrive.
That's how we do it. We pay attention to that detail because we know that makes a big difference in the taste.
It's just a huge difference. But we're going to be right back in just a moment. Ricardo's got more cuts of meat after this. Again, fresh plates, Ricardo. We needed fresh plates again. And while we were on break there, we had another cut of meat come out. Now this is an individual portion if someone wants just their own steak, right?
That's right. You know, the most famous cut in Brazil is the picanha.
And what part of the cow is the picanha?
Picanha is the culotte. It's the best part of the sirloin. So it's
Okay.
like you have the prime cut of the sirloin in your plate.
Oh.
So it's only 2.2 pounds, the whole piece, right?
And an entire cow.
the entire cow.
That's it.
2.2 pounds. So you separate that small piece, which is in the back of the cattle,
Yeah.
and you make the picanha. So you separate the calf from the sirloin,
Okay.
and obviously, again, wet age 28 days before we serve them.
So this is a wet age. Whoa.
28 days.
So wet age for 28 days.
28 days.
Goodness, that's incredible.
Right.
A lot of patience goes into what people get when they arrive here for dinner or lunch.
Every single detail. So the picanha, usually we cut that in the skew very thin because we do in Brazil.
Okay.
So in the United States, we figure the cattle, it's much more tender than in Brazil.
All right.
Okay, so we cut that thicker to preserve the juice, and we create a peppercorn sauce. Then you can drizzle on top of the picanha.
Get out of here. That is just gorgeous. Move my water out of the way.
So let's give it a try.
No problem. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And again, if people want an individual portion, what I love is this kind of looks like your traditional steak dinner. You've got your broccoli, you've got your mashed potatoes.
That's right, with much more affordable price and
But no less love.
no less long.
No less love. So 28 days wet age. Oh my goodness. I'll tell you what, Ricardo, I just got a nice little piece of fat on there that melted into that lean meat. Because the meat itself is wonderfully tasteful. Tastes fantastic. But I love that little piece of fat that I got that kind of melts over the lean. And that sauce is not to be denied. That's fantastic.
And that's what the aging process makes as well with the steak. So if you get the fat, then it's not wet age, it's gonna get chewy. It's not gonna be soft as it is, as you can taste in your mouth.
I was gonna say, I mean, it just dissolves and melts. And that's because of that wet age process?
That's right.
Man, that's delicious. And I maybe it's just me, maybe you at home, I just don't really, I've never thought to wet age meat at home. Everybody talks about dry aging and you can dry age in a fridge or in a dry place. I just never thought to wet age meat before. But after this episode, man, I might give it a shot when I get home, brother. Again, just decorative.
Thank you.
Just decorative. What? That's a peppercorn sauce?
Peppercorns.
You have to be making that in house, I guess. Or something. That tastes delicious.
Peppercorn sauce, everything we make from scratch on a daily basis.
And you know what I think I'm really impressed by? First of all, the quality of the food is one thing, but the service and the attention to detail that you have here in this restaurant is second to none. And that starts from the top. We were talking a bit earlier before we started the episode, and the word passion kept coming up. So So when it comes to your staff, when it comes to the chef, when it comes to your gauchos, before we get out of here, what's the secret behind it?
As you mentioned, it's about passion. You know, so we're very fortunate for the guests to be choosing us. Orlando today has 5,000 restaurants.
Wow.
And every single guest that comes to the door, you know, myself, my staff, it's part of our job to show them they made the right choice.
Incredible.
Second thing that we do is like, this is our home. Believe it or not, we live here more or less 1/3 of our lives. It's 8 to 10 hours a day.
That's a really good point.
And every
Really
guest
good
that
point.
comes here, we feel like it's coming to our home. So think about it when we're inviting somebody to come to your place, right?
It's
so
a
you
personal
want to
thing.
you want to have a connection. You want to bring what you have best for that guest, and that's why we try to do with every single guest that comes to Adega Gaucha.
And that totally shows. And now that you mention that, I think it all hits home for me because that's what this felt like today. The experience you showed us, the experience that you gave us, and all of us watching at home, it did. It felt like family. It felt like we were coming into your house. And you're right. When you bring people into your home, and you guys know this at home, when you bring people over and you cook dinner for them, it's a very personal thing. Food is very personal. When someone tries your food, it's like, you know, you feel like they're judging you because you put so much heart and soul into what you're preparing for them. And the fact that you take that so seriously, it just shows in everything you do.
Thank you very
And I'll
much.
tell you something else, and I'm gonna. This is really for all of you watching at home. A lot of times people think of Orlando and they think theme parks, they think rides. It's more than that, ladies and gentlemen. It's about this, Adega Gaucha. It's about restaurants like this that if you allow yourself to step out of what you think you know about Orlando and out of that comfort zone, there is an entire world of incredible food and people like Ricardo that are going to welcome you like family and give you an experience you are not going to get anywhere else. And thank you for doing that for us today.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to serve you all.
And where can people find you online so that when they make their way to Orlando, they
We
can
have
come by?
adegagaucha.com, and you can Google us, and you will find us as top best restaurants in the United States.
No question about it. Well, before we say goodbye to everybody at home, I think we got to cheers. Salud.
Cheers. Salute.
This is Ricardo. I'm Greg Hudson. We'll see you on the next episode of America's Best Restaurant.